Please hold the palm. One bow to the Buddha. Okay, first position. Second position. Okay, third position. One bow to the Buddha again. Okay, please take a seat. Okay, please take a seat. Okay, please refer to the textbook, page 214. Now, so I just to remind you again, this chapter, the gist or the objective for this chapter is talking about the, we have to follow the Buddha teaching, accordingly. Especially we talk about Buddha teaching in terms of true Dharma, right? True Dharma. Right? True Dharma, Chinese called 正法. Why use the word true? Because it must be incorporate or in connection with the Buddha teaching in terms of emptiness, dependent origination. Buddha talk about karma, talk about cause and effect. So this is so-called like the true Dharma. Not like people, focus a lot of spiritual power, believe in fate, they don't talk about impermanent. This is all against the Buddha's teaching. It's not true Dharma. All right. So basically, this is the so-called like gist for this chapter. Okay, for this chapter. So now, can you see the page 214? Shall we continue from last lesson? Page 214. Okay, we look at the verse here. Now, okay, I'll remind you again. So next lesson will be on 18. Everybody in 2 weeks' time. Okay, page 214. Okay, the Buddha said, Subhuti, what do you think? Can the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened one, be seen by the means of 32 attributes of a perfect person? Now, this perfect person in terms of sages, people like, Buddha, right? Sages. 圣人, in Chinese, sages. People like Buddha. Confucian, some people also consider him as a sages, the kind of thing. Now, so here 32 attributes. Sometimes they use the English expression called 32 marks. Both can be done because different expression, as you know, in English. 32 marks. 32相 in Chinese. Alright, by the Buddha. So now can you see the slide here? Now, so what is 32 marks? This one blocking. Okay, 32 attributes or marks. Right, in Sanskrit called Lashana. Alright, 32相 in Chinese. This only by the Buddha, right? For he was a perfect person, perfect enlightened one, through his cultivation, his wisdom, and so on and so forth. So in Buddhism, the 32 auspicious mark, by which the Buddha can be recognized. So we, in Sanskrit, the Lashana include golden skin. As you see, especially you go to visit a Chinese temple in China, you see those statue is in gold color, 金身, in Chinese called 金身. Thanks. Thank you so much. Okay, so in Chinese we call 金身. This one no in. Hokkien 叫金心啊，金身 golden. Here they call golden skin. You see, if you know the history in Chinese Buddhism, there's an emperor called Han Wudi. He dreamt before they know about the Buddha, Buddhism transmitted to China during Eastern Han Dynasty. He said, 金人, he dreamt about the golden person. 金人 means it's referred to Buddha because Buddha is golden skin. That's why they use the word golden skin. 金身, kim sim, but of course, like you see here, this is a typical Chinese one. You can see the statue. What is the color here? Gold color, or? Right? Statue gold color. But you see the jade Buddha, like in Burma, or even Thai also, because Thai you see the Buddha is short one, 尖尖的, right? This one like us. So this is actually typical Chinese one. Now you see the jade Buddha is a white color one. We call it Myanmar, Mientian, Burma or whatever. So that one is a white color. So this one is typically you got the golden skin or golden body is referred to Chinese Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism, okay? Now, so here they call golden skin, long arms, especially this long arm, the master Yin Sun, the way to Buddhahood. Yin Sun Dao Shi passed away already, very famous monk. In fact, the way to Buddhahood, he was an author. For what I know in Taiwan, I saw him, his arm, so very long. You see, I quite tall, right? You see my hand, I cannot touch the kneecap, Even my hand also, not so long, but also considered long. But I cannot touch the kneecap. But for him, the Master Yin Sun, the hand is very long, just like Buddha, can touch all the way to, like if you keep your body straight, all the way to the kneecap here. And this is another special one of the auspicious marks. So 它有佛陀的其中一个 one of the Buddha 32 marks. They don't you stand up and try. I don't think so. You have. So of course we are not superstitious, but it's just to tell. You look at him, Master Yin, everything all very long one. He very skinny one. So very special. Now long arms, tuft of hair, between the eyebrow, a knot of hair or the top of the head. So you look at the Buddha, everything, long ear. Now this one is actually in India because of Indian culture. To them, during that time, they say, wow, this is an auspicious look, very special, or this is how they go to justify whether something like what we call it Miss Universe, very pretty or very handsome. So Chinese called 审美观. So the way how they justify to assess whether you're good looking or whatever is a different kind of perspective from nowadays, right? To them, during Buddha at the time or in India, ear very long, very good. They say very good, this is a special one, right? You look at your ear, is it very long? I don't think so. Mine very small, kiam cai mia one. They say year long is considered good fortune, a lot of blessing, 很有福报的. So do go for surgery. Always our ear very small one. So we are all, a lot of heavy karma, 业障重. Okay, so this is called 32 marks. Okay, back to the textbook. So if the teaching of Prajna is no teaching, as I said already, because they don't want us to cling on to the what we are doing and so on and so forth. This is called attachment. You do it just to say, not for sake doing, not for somebody, not for yourself. All right, this is called detachment. Right, because you always talk about attachment, 执着. Attachment causes suffering because of ego, because of self-attachment, because of attached to the external object in the world. Okay? Now, so if the teaching of Prajna is no teaching, if you cling on to the teaching, like now I'm teaching you, all right? Of course I'm teaching you. You are sitting here to listen to my teaching, correct or not? This is correct. But at the end of the day, we should go beyond that. We should transcend, go beyond that. We cannot just lie down there and I'm listening. So this is also considered part of attachment. So therefore, in Buddhism, especially for Nagarjuna, Longsu Pusa, I don't know if you heard about this one, the second Buddha. He's a main contributor, the founder of Mahayana Buddhism. So we as a Mahayana Buddhism, he's the founder of Mahayana. So he's a very important figure. Now this Nagarjuna is particularly strictly follow the Buddha teaching, talking about emptiness, or you talk about middle path, 中道, middle path. Okay, Longsu. So this is how we are suffering. Of course, for Buddha, it's free from suffering because middle path. You don't fall into the two extreme. Just a tall and short, black and white, or whatever. Because why we have a differentiated mind, 分别心, this is how we suffer because we always fall into the two extreme. And this so-called like two extreme, just like A and B, this is just like in the mundane level. We talk mundane level in this defiled world, like our mundane level, 世俗 worldly level, and we are living here. We are fall into this straight line, and we always fall into the two extreme. It's either A or B. And this is how we have a differentiated mind, and how we call suffering. So according to Buddhism, or according to the Buddha, we should go beyond that. See here, we should go beyond that. Don't fall into the two extremes. And this is called middle path. Unless one realize this A or B is depend on causes and conditions, things are all impermanent due to the nature of emptiness. I always say that. And if you really fully realize that, right, realize the true reality, right, means emptiness, then we should be able to go beyond that, to extreme. Okay? And of course, this is considered wisdom. Prajna. This is wisdom. This is how we gain the wisdom. How we're going to generate the wisdom. Right? Unlike for this level, or at this level, it's just a knowledge. People like scientists, people like those professors in the university, although they got PhD holder, but so what? Right? Because all these are considered knowledge. Knowledge, 知识, computer knowledge, science knowledge, engineering knowledge. Just as scientists, right? They invent something. They are very smart. Just like, I don't know, recently you watched the YouTube or the newspaper one, the news, Singaporean, he was in America, and a senator questioned, this senator is Harvard University, so there's something that's very sarcastic because he looked young and it's a kind of a political style in America. Then he tried to question this, senator, he questioned this Singaporean, and this Singaporean, I think probably 30, 40 something years old, and he married the American, the wife is American. They challenge him, are you communist? Are you Singaporean? He said, I'm Singaporean, I serve the army. He said, they ask all those stupid questions. So, yeah, you are Harvard 你懂吗? Top university in the world, 哈佛大学 nobody can go in. I also cannot go in, go to England only. So I tell a PhD holder and ask a stupid question. So all these are considered knowledge. Okay? But wisdom is different. Knowledge is something to do with suffering, in connection with fame and status, 名跟利, fame, reputation, strong desire, something like that. But this wisdom is go beyond that. This is called ego, self. This is no self. So you compare and show the difference. Okay? The Harvard University, the one that's enter, he actually from the Republican, 共和党. Trump, crazy president, come in again. That's why impermanent, out, in, correct? Who know? And he's more like qualified for the next round of election. So we wait and see. That's why you must see from there this kind of incident happen. Then you start to think about, what Buddha taught us. Oh, impermanent. 无常. Correct? This is what Buddha taught us, impermanent. Right? Like me today, I came there, impermanent. No, I shouldn't use this one as an excuse. I really, really apologize. Anyway, 我陪你时间 compensate me, teach until 11:30, okay? So go for late lunch. So it's a New Year gift for you. Okay, back to here. So, and the world in which it is taught is no world. So this doesn't mean that we don't recognize the world, we don't recognize the teaching. It's just like we cannot cling on to it. 我们不要执着, don't attach to it. Like I'm still teaching you. You still listen to the teaching. You can say, no, I listen nothing. Then people say you're crazy, 神经病. 明明坐在那边 listen to the Dharma talk, you say nothing, right? It's just like we don't cling on. We listen, we recognize the thing, but we have to go beyond that. Clear? So, what about the teachers of the teaching? So the teacher here is called Mahapurusha. Okay, in Sanskrit, we call it perfect person. People like knowledgeable, people like sages, like Buddha, Bodhisattva, Arhat, all these are considered perfect person, or especially Buddha. So long before this term was applied to Buddha, it was a name and apparition of being who sacrificed his body to create the world and the human race. So later it was also applied to Bodhisattva, who had cultivated various forms of renunciation for many kappas. Now, I told you before, right? What is kappa? Chinese called jie, gap. Hokkien called gap. You can see the start here. Kappa, jie, Hokkien called gap saw. So this is I told you, it's a time measuring unit in ancient India. But in the modern era, just like now modern time, what we use the unit for the time, measuring the time, second, minutes, hour, 对吗? Year or something like that, how many years, how many months or something like that, just to show the how long and how short of the time. So here, kapals in India, of course, this is a measuring unit. In traditional Buddhist cosmology, kapals is in Sanskrit, are unfathomably, 不能测量的, right? Unfathomably, long period of time. Just like Buddha was gone through the three great kappa. Our Buddha, 三大阿僧祇劫. Do you know how long? Three great kappas? 52 stages. If you attended my Dharma class, I mean the textbook, The Way to Buddhahood by Master In Sun, 52 stages, 50个阶位. You see, that's why I say you whatever you listen to the Dharma talk, whether any sutra, if you don't have any Dharma knowledge, it's very difficult. Just like you don't know emptiness, you don't know dependent origin, you don't know karma, you don't know what is three great kappas, they have to explain to you all over again. Then there's a problem. So do anyhow ask people to go for Dharma talk, I tell you. 你害得他, you're not going to make sure you convert to Buddhist. You make him more confused because you don't know anything. All of a sudden sitting here, emptiness, 空, go out, nothingness. Become nothingness, you see. So getting worse. So therefore, Dharma class, then that depends on what sort of Dharma class. Cannot just one sutra, this is called Dharma class. In fact, this is not Dharma class, but the way I'm teaching you, it's just like Dharma class, But I write Dharma talk, I'm sitting here when you go outside. I won't show anything, I wouldn't write on the whiteboard one, 它不是上课嘞. If talk 一个演讲, it's just blah, 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 blah. Then if I don't write anything, don't show you the basic terminology or whatever, I tell you, you go into the stray. 你迷失方向的. In fact, where got Dharma talk people talk in this manner one? No, if you go to stadium, you look at the pastor or whatever, oh, sit down here and just, not like teaching you on the whiteboard. No. That's why, although I'm using this method to deliver my talk, but this here considered is a Dharma talk. It's not a Dharma class. Please, you go out, don't tell them, say, hey, come for Dharma class, Diamond Sutra. I never say that. You look at the poster, I put Dharma talk, I didn't put Dharma class. Right? Chinese called 佛学课程 Dharma class. Just like you go to university, secondary school, JC and study. This is called school, schooling, 读书嘛. But Dharma talk is one talk or whatever this, no. You know what I mean? So this is a Dharma talk, it's not a Dharma class. Dharma talk and Dharma class are entirely different. Okay, back to here. This one, I haven't finished. So it's a long period of time. I thought they come in different sizes, even the regular kappas or beyond huge. You just imagine how many years. You go and count how many zero. So Shakyamuni, we've gone through three great kappas, consist of 52 stages. 50个阶位. You just imagine how long period. Then you say, now you want to become Buddha? Ridiculous, right? Well, and then, last time got one student asked me, Sifu, after 3 years of Dharma class, can I become Buddha? So you will become crazy person. Not perfect person, become crazy person. Straight away you go to IMH. Mental issue, mental problem. 我教了10多20年, I'm still standing here, no? Then you just attend 3 years Dharma class, you want to become Buddha. I also cannot become Buddha. Still standing, still struggling, suffering. Well, then a great kappa is almost, you see how many years? You go and count. So don't see just Buddha sitting here and relax, sit here and relax. But he's gone through 3 great kappas before he became Buddha. So everything count. Okay? No free meal one. We have to pay for the price one. You come here, you sacrifice, you cannot enjoy at this moment outside the time, but you come here and suffer, but at least you gain something. Not only just for present life, probably for future life. Who knows? In Buddhism talk about, reincarnation, rebirth and so on and so forth. Okay, back to here. Now, so, long before this term applied to the Buddha, apparition of being sacrificed his body to create the world and human race. Later, it was applied to Bodhisattva who have cultivated various forms of renunciation, many kappas, and who had acquired one by one the 32 attributes or 32 marks, 32 相, that mark their processes as destined okay, for either Buddhahood or universal sovereignty. So although each of these attributes was associated with a particular practice, the number of also related to the number of heavens on slope of Mount Sumeru, Shimisan. And this Mount Sumeru, I told you before, it's just like now we talk about Himalaya mountain, the highest mountain in this world or in this planet. Highest mountain. Or we call it snow mountain, 雪山, Himalaya, 喜马拉雅山. Okay? This is the highest one. 据说, according to Buddhism, this is the highest in the world. And this is actually, if we talk about Buddhism, from our perspective, we name it as Sumeru, Mount Sumeru, 须弥山. In Chinese, you heard before one. So, when Bodhisattvas are reborn as gods between their human birth, all 32 attributes and the practices associated with each are listed in Nagarjuna. Just I mentioned the name Nagarjuna, Longsu Pusa, a very important figure in Buddhism. Whether you are Chinese Buddhism or Tibetan Buddhism, he gained highly respect, right? Quite high respect from this, whether Tibetan or Chinese Mahayana Buddhism, right? Very important figure. Because Mahaprajna Paramita Sastra, 大智度论. So this is a Sastra means treatise in English. Sastra, this is a Sanskrit word. In English we call treatise. Chinese called Lun. Only sutra was spoken by the Buddha, but treatise not by the Buddha. Treatise Lun is to explain the sutra. Okay, to explain that. So this is up to individual, those eminent philosopher, eminent monk, how they translate or explain the sutra, and this is called treatise. So therefore, in Buddhism, treatises are more complicated. A lot of philosophical thought in treatise, and all in individual person. Depend how they realize the sutra, how they're going to explain it. Okay, but sutra is very straightforward. Spoken by the Buddha, you won't go wrong. But those people explain the treatise, then if you go to listen to those whatever speaker, then you better be careful. Okay, don't anyhow just absorb, take it. You have to think over. Okay, so treatises are more complicated, and treatise. As a speaker, it's not easy to, deliver a treatise or whatever, unless you receive a very good training and have a positive kind of or understanding. Okay, but unlike for sutra, whether Diamond Sutra, if we explain to sutra directly, or Universal Gate Sutra, Pu Wen Ping, whatever. So or Heart Sutra, that one is quite straightforward. Okay, but treatises are very complicated one. Okay, treatises are not spoken by the Buddha, but are translated by those eminent scholars. Can be monk, can be sangha, can be philosopher. Okay, so that is a difference. In Buddhism, we talk about 3 baskets, right? 3 baskets, 三藏, 3 baskets, right? 三藏 means sutra, vinaya, and treatise, sastra, 经律论. Okay, so we call it 3 baskets. In English, they use the word basket. Chinese called 三藏, right? Okay, so who is Nagarjuna? If you want to know even more in detail, you can refer to behind page 455. Okay, you just indicate it, page 455 behind. If you go back, if you are free, you can go and flip to the behind of the textbook, glossary there. Okay, next paragraph. So among the attributes associated with a perfect person are the marks or wheels, or savastikas on the bottom of the feet, webbed fingers and toes, arms that extend below the knee. I told you before, right? Extend to until the knee. One of the, just now I showed you the 32 marks on the slide, right? Just now we mentioned it on the slide. 32 marks or 32 attributes. So a retractable penis, and a golden hue, a skin, 40 teeth. You go and count your teeth, 牙齿有40颗的 40. If you miss something, of course, when getting older, then you top 掉 or crack or whatever, correct not? But for Buddha, I see the teeth is very in order one, very nicely, and 没有蛀牙，没有什么的. Okay, so white and look very nice. 40颗, then you go back, go and count. I don't think so got 40. 32 huh? Oh. 32 standard normally lah. He said 36 Then you lost 4 already, 掉了4个了 drop 4. Then you drop 4 your business. I'm talking about in general. If everything in good condition. So in good condition is 36. You drop 4, then become 32. 掉了4颗. So you can go buy 3634. You know, I better to buy again. Then you strike the 4D, then you donate to the Buddhist, some money donate. No, I'm joking. I didn't ask you to gamble. Hey, sometimes I joke, you must know how to differentiate the joke. This monk asked me to gamble, 5354, 假啦. 不要害我 because now it's not live, but it's in YouTube one. Then they after few days they put on the YouTube, people can see one. Okay, so 40 teeth and deep bruised eyes. You know, not like you look at your eye, what color? Of course, the baby or the young boy or girl, you look at the eyes very bluish, 很难的很好看嘛 But getting older, blur one. Correct. So white curve between the 2 eyebrow, dark curly hair, and so on and so forth. Okay. So the Lankavatara Sutra, right? This is, you can refer to page 452, right? Now, quote, this sutra says, the 32 attributes are most wondrous and extraordinary. Such a body is a destiny, occurring, and such attributes are not result of love or desire. Some people look at it, wow, handsome, or you're very pretty, then somehow already have a kind of desire. Wow, very nice, if I can marry to me as a wife, so good. This kind of desire. But Buddha is, for us, you say, oh yeah, very handsome, but it's not the kind of, you have a kind of desire. Yeah, I like it, I want to marry to him. No. That's normal people, how they see the Buddha. But for Buddha, it's nothing to do with this kind of sex desire or whatever. Or because they love or desire, result in love. Okay, next verse. Now, Subhuti said, no, indeed, Bhagavan, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened one, cannot be seen by means of the 32 attributes of a perfect person. You cannot say, 32, then you just gong, blah, blah, 32. This 32 to show that because it is good in cultivation and reflect on from his body, and you must see in this manner. So it's something different from us, not because of something different from us to show his kind of handsome, he look handsome. No, not so much on this one. It's through his own kind of cultivation, the wisdom, and the good fortune, and so reflect from his physical body. I mean, if you don't believe, if you take this as an example for you in the present life, and people like you and me or whatever, whether Sangha or lay people, if you are very good in cultivation, then you look at the people's appearance, the outlook, you look very cheerful, very bright, very positive. You know what I mean? This is just like Buddha. 你没有修行, whether you are very good in cultivation, from your appearance can tell already. More or less can tell already. But if you are so suffering a lot, then look very negative, and so on and so forth. Of course, 你看起来就刮茶鼻嘛, Hokkien. So you don't look cheerful look, because you are not happy. Right? No? So a lot of Buddhists, they are not happy because they don't know what is true Dharma. So when they encounter problems, they just collapse, very negative and very pessimistic, 很悲观的. Right? So, I mean, generally, if you compare by Christianity or Christian people, they are very positive one. I mean, I didn't say all, I told you so many times, when they wake up in the morning, you say, oh, God bless. Cross, God bless. Amen. Wow, God give me wonderful day. Today is Monday. Oh, they're looking forward for today. Then Sunday, they're also very happy. Starting of the week, they are very happy to work. End of the week, they are very happy to go to church. We are all the other way around. First day of the week, I don't feel like go to work. The end of the week, don't feel like go to the temple. You see a lot of different attitude, a lot of different, Why not? That's why we are not happy. Hey, talking about happiness, the news. Better to ask you newspaper. If I ask, I very disappointed one, disheartened, 玻璃心脆的. Then ask. Singapore 不是Singapore the world do a survey about happiness 幸福感吗? Singapore, they say, oh, Singapore development country, very rich. Singapore 很有钱嘛 Well, but this on the surface, the journalist from Taiwan, I saw the Taiwan YouTube, lao kui, disgraceful. Then they say, oh, they even interview the Singaporean. They say, yeah, although we are very rich, our country very rich in the world, probably they say top, very wealthy, but we are not happy. 新加坡人现在不开心了。You know why? After New Year, then I tell you. Because you didn't read the newspaper, go and read the newspaper. Don't every time I spoon feed you, I go and tell you the news. I'm not 路透社记者 journalist. Okay, back to here. Now, social visit, not fully and that one. Okay, we see the content, how they explain. The body of the 32 attributes is a Buddha Namana Kaya. Okay? That means 化身 in Chinese. Manifestation, the body. 化身. This is a physical body. Just as Buddha, secondary Buddha was born in India. You know the Trikaya, three body of the Buddha. One is a reward body. One is a Dhammakaya, Dhamma body, 法身. Why not? Three body of the. But we seen the Buddha in India 2,600 years ago. This is a Sanskrit word called Namana Kaya, manifestation body of the Buddha. Now, it is his physical or incarnated body in which he appears to teach other beings. Alright? It cannot appear as funny people or not a human being. Then you scared, you are ghost or deva, something like that. You're just a human being. You only born, live in the world for 80 years only. Before you attain nirvana. 80岁 at the age of 80. You see, 80岁 to us, not longevity, 没有长寿 not long life. 80岁 nothing. Today the newspaper came out, Wang Zuyao, you have been. He passed away at the age of 95. Well, no, I know you haven't read the newspaper yet because you wake up very late. You read already? You read already? Good. He passed away what time? Yesterday, last night? 1 a.m. You see, everything update for you. But he's contributed a lot to Singapore in terms of banking, financial. If you don't know Wang Zuyao, then I can't do anything. I don't know how to explain to you. I can explain to you who is Wang Zuyao. Now, so, it is, however, the result of karma. And it's not his real body. Right? Because this physical body is not the real body of the Buddha. The real body of the Buddha is Kammakaya. It's a Dharma body. It's a spiritual one, 精神, go beyond time and space. Means true. 真理就是他的 Dhammakaya. Okay? True. True. Satya in Sanskrit. True. Okay, back to here. Now, so when the Buddha posed a similar question about his reward body, now this reward body called Bao Shen, I told you before, right? Bao Shen, and this is the body Buddha was appear in front of all the Bodhisattva. That means when he gave a sermon to all the Bodhisattva, and this body called reward body, Bao Shen. But Bao Shen is just a physical body, because one day you will die pass away. Right? So whether you are just a second the physical body or your reward body, sooner or later you will pass away. But not for Kammakaya. That one is spiritual one, 精神. Go beyond that, go beyond time and space. So means he's teaching. That's a Dharma. Anytime, any place, you can realize the Dharma. Not only Singapore got Dharma, everywhere. Not only this planet, but in this whole universe. Okay? Now, so we said the Buddha could not be seen because the attribute of his reward body are no attributes. In other words, this 32 attribute is only appear to people like you and me, to all sentient beings. We see the Buddha body, got 32 long arms until knee, touch the knee, then the ear very long, bluish eye, and so on and so forth. Now, so no attribute in Tathagata can in fact be seen. Subhuti still does not understand this. However, instead of being obstructed by emptiness, Subhuti is an Arahat. He's not a Bodhisattva. 他是一个罗汉嘛。Arahat, you cannot consider it's a perfected one. Only Buddha is a perfected one. Arahat still got the residual habit, right? I mean, you studied the Namakas before. It's in the fourth fruition, 第四果嘛。After Arahat, then you go up to Bodhisattva. After Bodhisattva, eventually there's a higher stage called Buddha. Okay, below Arahat is Deva. We call it divine being, 天神神God. Those people 跳当 medium, whatever. That one is at the lower rank one. So in other words, if you are Buddhist, if you are already taken refuge in Buddhism, if you are cultivate Dharma diligently, I tell you, you definitely got bodyguard one. You don't need to go and purposely worship to the Ting Kong or whatever. Not necessary. But of course, you don't criticize them or scold them because they do have the kind of a hatred, and we call it what? Anger, hatred and ignorance. 3 poisoners, right? So we show respect, but we do need to take refuge to them. Only to the triple gems for us. So he is now obstructed by the logic of prajna, in which he has now become adept. So, but his vision is still limited to the emptiness of things. Of course, the Arhat, they only realize emptiness. But I told you, if you want to show the difference in Mahayana Buddhism, just a Bodhisattva or Buddha, not only just emptiness, but emptiness or emptiness. That's in Mahayana Buddhism. Okay. Now, so he does not yet possess the Dharma eye. This Dharma eye, of course, is not a normal naked eye. Like you and me, we call it naked eye. 我们是肉眼嘛. So naked eye, we only see the surface of the things in the world. We just see the surface only. We are not deep into it. Dharma eye is different. Okay? So we always see through our naked eyes, we always encounter a lot of problems. We don't know this is good or bad. This is nice person or terrorist, you don't know. Okay? So, which sees emptiness as a rough, and to which the Buddha will introduce Subhuti in chapter 18. So that actually, in future, we'll talk about chapter 18. We'll turn to the next page. Now, these are the scholars. I just tell you the page number. If you are free, go back, you can refer to the behind the textbook. Chen Xiong, page 441. Wan Zhi Xiu, page 469. Yan Ping, page 470. Xu Fa, Su Fa, 还是虚法 page 448. Zhong Tong, how to pronounce? So page 467. They're the last scholar. Okay, page 217. Okay, page 217. Can you see the next verse? The Buddha said, furthermore, Subhuti, if a man or woman renounce their self-existence every day, as many times as they are grains of sand in the Ganges River, right? Ganges, and renounce their self-existence in this manner for as many kappa as they are grains of sand in the Ganges. Okay, we see how they explain it below. He said each time these sutras compare the merit of an offering. Of course, if you now, Chinese New Year coming, you go and buy a lot of goodies, you're offering to the temple, you're offering to the poor people, you're offering to the Sangha, whether monk or nun. Of course, you say, yeah, I gain a lot of merit because I donate to the temple, I donate to do a lot of charity work. Of course, I got merit. Of course, you definitely have a merit. But this merit, is it very vast? Is it a lot of merit? No. If you compare with Dharma, giving of Dharma, just like now we delivering the talk, in Dharma Sutra to you, because during this talk, then you gain the Dharma knowledge so that you can apply in your daily life. And this is how you generate the wisdom. Then you know how to solve your problems. And these are more important. Of course, the bottom line is you must have a basic materialistic life. If you no money, no food to eat or whatever, then you talk about dharma, emptiness, emptiness, nothingness. Correct or not? My stomach hungry, calling, kopi all. Then how to all way truth. Okay. Correct or not? You must make sure your daily basic life, everything is okay. Then you can think about spiritual development. Think about the religion. It's just like you don't work. You no income. Then you go to the temple, then, now of course Buddhists offering a lot of free one. But you go to the temple, like last time when I was young, I followed my grandmother go to the temple. I came here before last time. You go to the temple, don't just empty-handed one. I saw my grandmother buy fruits, buy incense, whatever, put in the plastic bag, then take bus, bus cheaper. 老人家 take bus all the way to the temple, just want to for your sincerity, your good heart. Then you worship to the Buddha or whatever. Of course, you aim for a blessing or something like that. And all these things you need money to buy, fruits, whatever. Then donation, donate money to the temple. Usually you go to the temple, you see the main entrance, the first one you enter the temple, you know what they put? Donation box. They scared it bypass. See pretend no see. 没有看到. So you put the donation box. So they expect you to do some donation. But in Christianity, they are very smart. Because this one very obvious. You put in the, in front of the temple, the door there. People say, you 要钱的验对啊，你看啊. So not so good, right? But in Christianity, you know how they asking for donation? If you go to the church, last time I was in Bristol, England, during the Bible talk, or you go to the church for the service, Sunday service, of course they love to sing the holy song. Then after they pass around the bag, then you can say you don't donate. Everybody look at you, Then pass. At least $1, $2. You must put something inside, man. Correct or not? Otherwise, people look at you. My friend look at me. She look at me, say, how much I put? So it give me a lot of pressure. I don't know how much I can put. Then I check my pocket, the coins. The England, the currency pound. In pound, 1 pound, the coin there. So I go and check my pocket. Got 10 penny. 10 penny is, I don't know how much in Singapore. Pound is more, that's like 1块钱 whatever. So eventually, I feel pain, Why? I donated 1 pound. Why you laugh? 1 pound Singapore 2块贵嘞. Actually, I want to put 1 penny. If I put 1 penny, 一定给他骂得死的 get scolded. The pastor talk until no saliva. Then you just donated 1 penny. Who are you? So I will pay as a student. So I just put 1 pound. You look at me, 1 pound. Okay, better than nothing. And the pastor I told you before, from Zhuqian, I asked him some secret. I said, oh, you come from Singapore. I said, where you come from? I said, from Singapore. How can I come here? You're a monk, right? I said, yes, I'm a monk. He said, why you come here and study? I said, I do my PhD there. I said, we just study in the university. I said, yes, they do have. Then I asked him, which church in the secret? He dare not tell me. He cannot turn the chi. And the pastor very, very attractive one, He looked very confident, the voice very loud, don't need the microphone. Because they all gone through Bible college, Singapore has got Bible college. Because they are very good in training, just like you go to NIE before you become a teacher. So very professional one. Not like us, after come out, then talk, and then shivering. Very inexperienced one. So that shows a lot of difference. But nowadays, nowadays the Buddhist college in the world, they do have this kind of training to train the monk or train the student monk how to deliver a talk, to give a lecture or something like that. Yeah. Better than last time. Okay, back to here. Okay, so this is talking about merit if you compare with the Dharma giving or you're giving in the kind of materials thing. So it increases the value and the extent of the offering. In previous chapter, the offering consisted the most valuable objects in the materials world, namely the 7 jewels, qi bao. We mentioned it before, right? If you donate like those material things, whether money and so on and so forth, do you think, I donated a lot, but actually you compare it with Dharma giving, it really cannot be compared. Okay. So here the offering consists of an object even more valuable, namely our own self wow, it's just a sacrifice. But of course, you don't anyhow sacrifice yourself. Right? You cannot say, I kill myself just for the sake of whatever. Of course, during the last time, really, if you know the history in China, some soldiers or whatever, they sacrifice themselves just for the sake of the country. That is another issue. So also time is added to space to further expand the dimension of such offering. The unit used here is the kappa. I told you before, the measuring unit in India. The ancient Indian units of time that been with the creation of the world and ends of its destruction. So it is a unit of time so impossible to conceive. A Mayfly will more easily understand the concept of millennium. Okay? Next paragraph. So again, the defining characteristic of the Mahapurusha, that means the perfect person, in bracket, is renunciation. So, however, the renunciation itself does not lead to liberation. Buddha's arises. You know, renounce from the world, just like last time when I giving the Dharma class, the textbook, according to Master In Sun. Renounce in terms of our mind, not the physical body. Right? You are not going to escape from this world. We have to expose to face it. You know, we still have to work everything, but just like our mind, mentality, go beyond that. But physically, we are in this world. We cannot escape. Hide in the mountain, hide in the Bukit Timah here. Don't face to people. You know, dare not to face to people, dare not to talk to people, and even dare not to interact with the people. And this is wrong. So when Buddhism talk about cultivation, we have to interact with the people, and this is how we cultivate the Dharma. This is how we apply the Dharma. When you interact with the people, there are a lot of conflict, a lot of problems. So I got one student ask me, he said, Sifu, actually working is nothing, you know. If you work, if you are capable in work, you can manage it, whether computer or whatever. It's no problem, you know. It's no problem. But the main problem is how we interact with the people. We call it office politics. Right? So some people gossip about talk. If we go talk about the good things, always talk, we call gossip, you know, always talk back behind people one. You end up with a lot of, we call it politics, office politics. And that is the most difficult part. Work actually is nothing. You work, physically you're tired, then you rest. Mentally you're tired, you sleep, rest. The thing will recover already. But it's those politics, you know, interaction with people, then, you know, because the different character, then it these are the most difficult. And this one not only in your working place, you know, everywhere, even in the temple. You don't think that idealistic temple is a pure land? Who told you temple is a pure land? Temple also consists of you and me, these kind of people, normal people. 人多是非多 in Chinese. In more people, more conflict, more politics. Even people help as a volunteer. Yeah. Whether in the Sangha community, people like me, monks, community of monks or nuns, also got politics. So, what is the conclusion? Unless you go to Pure Land, Pure Land, no politics. Unless we are, you know, otherwise we are in this world, we have to face it. You cannot escape. 不能逃避的嘛. And this is called cultivation. And when you interact with people, all sort of people, 一种米养百种人, all kind of people, all sort of people. 怪怪的. People also say you also 怪. You say people 怪, people say you also 怪. Because it's different perspective. And this is, you know, this is called cultivation. We apply how you apply practice tolerance. 要忍嘛. Why not? You hate to work. You hate to interact with people. No choice. You need the money, right? You need the money, you work. Then you work, then only two choices only. Once you tolerate the thing because you need the money. You have to work. 你忍咯. If you really cannot tolerate, then you quit 咯. 就两条路 It's either you quit or you tolerate. Now, if you quit from A to B, B also got problem. Different problem, but also got problem. And this is the fact. So you tolerate, I tell one thing, you practice no self, then you can tolerate. If you have an ego, how to tolerate? Later on, you volcano eruption, 爆炸 explode. Must see. I know. So Buddhism cultivation not just pressing 保庇保庇啊，掉尾標唔三唔四 or whatever. Tell you, Buddhism, you go to Taoism. Buddhism is talking about wisdom to solve our problems, not using the spiritual power. By wisdom, by wisdom, then you to cultivate 嘛，要修行的嘛，不是拜拜保佑就可以的。No, not just that. You see, a lot of people rush to Waterloo Street, SBL, right? They want to rush to the first one to put the incense, right? To show the respect to Guan Yin, right? I tell you, all these are superstitious. You see, who is the one to put the incense? 第一支香。The temple people 啊，你講12點開咗你啊，伊8點就查了 ，because they are there caretaker，伊就先點了嘛。哎呦，這你講誒，你講夠講無？伊都係 the first one 啊。你講對唔對？伊頭一個講，你台灣你所說啊，我說 Chinese 話台灣 ，rush to the temple until the whole wall collapse point， 更誇張。新加坡 Waterloo Street 就衝啊 ，the most fell down or whatever。So can't you see the Chinese people are very superstitious, whether you are Taoism or you are Buddhism. And you will be surprising, no. Now the youngster also very superstitious. If you go to Sibei or Waterloo Street, people say, old people missing no standard. I tell you, young boy a lot, you know. 年輕人更迷信 nowadays, you know. So what to do? This is a fact. Okay, back to here. Now, so hence they find no self to renounce, whereas the previous section of this chapter regarded the entities of the external universe. The above and the following section considered the entities of the internal world, namely the atoms and the world system of the universe we call the self. Okay? Namely the Buddha itself and the individual self. Of course, if you base on the scientists of all those atoms, how they form the universe or whatever, I mean, according to the science. But of course, according to the Buddhism, it's all like karma. Just as now we live in Singapore, just as now we share the kind of disaster in this planet in terms of COVID-19, in terms of earthquake. You know, recently got earthquake, but whether in Japan, in the beginning of the year, Japan got sway, Japan or Zhongguo Gansu, you know, earthquake, a lot of people died. So in Buddhism, this is called share karma. We share everybody, 叫共业. Do you know the term share karma? Share karma. Because we share this planet, or we share this earth, we are living in this earth, 住在这个地球嘛. So we should treasure it. We should keep the place clean. 環保嘛，對唔對? But we destroy ourselves. Everything in the mess. So you think COVID-19 will disappear? No. The mask, I told you so many times, the mask you have to wear until you go to the coffin. 躺在棺材. But of course, some people don't wear, but it's your choice. But the virus is still around. But it's just that the immune, their variant, they change to whether not serious or serious, that depends on. So this is called share karma. It's not created by the God, it's not created by the Buddha. When you talk about karma, it's the individual behavior. And this one is not by, according to Buddhism, it's not by the Buddha, created by the Buddha. Buddha is not creator. And it's not by the God. Right? Okay, back to here. Now, so this is the explanation for this verse. Okay, can I turn to the next one? The last verse, page 218. And someone grabs but one four-line gatha of this Dharma teaching and make it known and explain it to others, the body of merit produced as a result would immeasurably, indefinitely, greater. Of course, even just 4 lines of the gathas, or the verse or whatever, from the Dharma Sutra, but you benefit a lot of beings, sentient beings. Just because they know gain the knowledge of the Dharma, then eventually they have wisdom. So if one who had the wisdom then you can solve a lot of problems. So you will be lesser suffering. Right now, if mental lesser efficient, 烦恼少一点, so physically you're more healthy. Because these are all linked together. Mental and physical body is a combination of both as a human being, according to Buddhism. 身心的组合嘛, combination of body and mind. To Buddhism, mind are more important than body. Of course, two are important, but mind are more important. Because mind is just a computer CPU, main controller. Central processing unit to control. So if the mind healthy in terms of lesser affliction or lesser mental defilement, then physically suffering will be lesser. So by right, I say by right, if you are Buddhist, if you know the Dharma, if we are practice the Dharma, we're supposed to be lesser physical suffering, no? And the mind should be getting better and better by right, So just imagine if one who practice the Dharma in their daily life or as a Buddhist, then if you find that you are getting more suffering in terms of mental issue, in terms of physical things, then it's some way go wrong already. That shouldn't be the case. So if you want to gain the benefit in this present life, it's possible, but not 100%, because we still got future life. And solely depend on how much you put in your effort to practice the Dharma. Yeah? This is from the Buddha perspective. Okay, back to here. So since the self is not real, that's the reason Buddhism talk about no self, 无我. Okay? So what merit can there be from such an offering? So throughout this sutra, the Buddha repeatedly point out that making offering of what we hold most dear to those whom we most venerate cannot compare to making an offering of this teaching to other deluded beings, people like you and me, sentient beings, deluded, 被染污了. That's why you compare the Dharma giving and compare the wealth giving material. Of course, Dharma will be better. But this doesn't mean that materials giving are not important. It's just that in comparison, of course, Dharma giving are more important. Correct now? Besides Dharma giving, of course, with this physical body, we still have the consumption of some food and then we have energy and so forth. So working or the money income, to sustain our life, and this is also important. But a lot of Buddhists, they have a negative thought. They say, near Amitofo, then I can go to the Pure Land, so I don't need to work. Just a Buddhist law, they offer three meals. They say no free meal, no free lunch in this world. Here do have a free lunch. So they have a kind of a misunderstanding. 误会了. Okay? As a true Buddhist, we have to work. We have to work. Then you say, no time to cultivate. 你不要骗我. You have so much time to traveling, no time to cultivate. All these are excuses. So I always say that you're part-time and full-time. If you use the mundane term, you part-time and full-time because you have to work. And because you have to work, then you will treasure the time. You don't waste the time. So in fact, you're more productive, if you really know how to treasure the time. Because you know that you have no time. You still have to work. So besides your work, still can cultivate. Still can cultivate the Dharma. Okay, back to here. So, but not only in this teaching of Prajna, no teaching, and the world in which it is taught, no world, and the teachers who teaches it is no teacher. Everything no. Okay, because this sutra talking about emptiness, right? So the self who makes an offering of this teaching is no self. So such understanding as this gives birth to the Bodhisattva's infinite body of merit, which is we call Sammoga Kaya. So this is a 报身 in terms of reward body. We talk about reward body, 报身. The selfless, no body that each Bodhisattva acquires upon practicing this teaching. So the attainment of such a body of merit contrasts sharply with Subhuti practice of the self-realization. That one is more, Subhuti is more on self-cultivation. But for Bodhisattva, it is due to great compassion, 大悲, 慈悲. So in order to save all sentient beings, just like Guan Yin Pusa, great compassion. Well, compassion and love are different, but compassion is equal to beyond love. Of course, in Christianity, talk about universal love, 博爱, but God only loved their own supporter. Love only Christian people. I mean, according to the teaching, but not non-Christian. But this compassion is beyond religious thing, whether you are Christian or you're non-Christian, whether you're Muslim or whatever, but they still love you, and I mean Bodhisattva, they still want to save you, not just because you are different religion from me, right? So that's called compassion, no self, wisdom. Because of no self, if you have a self ego, 你是我的人, you're my student, then I take care of you. You're not my student, who care? Your business. You die your business. 关我什么屁事，对吗？ So then we show the difference already. So whereby he had freed himself of desire and was waiting for the fire of nirvana to consume his physical body, after which he would receive no further body. Meanwhile, the Bodhisattva's body of merit is not limited by time or space and appears wherever there are beings in need of liberation. Yeah, I forgot to ask you. If you really got something on, have to leave at 11:15, you just leave quietly, because today you do a little bit of OT. Okay? Because some people want to rush to Clarke Quay lah, want to go to Chinatown to buy goodie lah, last minute shopping lah, then you go ahead, You just leave quietly. Then don't affect people studying, okay? 静悄悄地走. Okay, Asanga, the scholar, page 438. 无着, you can refer to behind one. Next one, Fuxi, page 446. 慧能, the sixth patriarch, 六祖慧能, page 449. Okay, we finish chapter 13. 哇，你看金刚经，你看。I tell this chapter 14, a lot. Chapter 14, I don't know. You look at the verses, a lot. So what I'm going to do, I read the starting and then the beginning and the ending one. Otherwise, we no time to read out the whole verse. Okay, before I do that, can you turn to page 4221, chapter 14. Okay, before we do that, you go to Chinese Sutra first, then I tell the objective, the gist for this chapter. Okay, if you are Sutra, you turn to Chinese Sutra, 14分, chapter 14, 离相即灭. I read Chinese first, then I read in English one for short one. Then I will explain to you, tell the objective or gist for this chapter 14. Okay, 第14哈。儿时须菩提闻说是经，深解依趣，体类悲泣而白佛言：昔有世尊，佛说如是甚深经典，我从昔来所得慧眼，未曾得闻如是之经。世尊，若复有人得闻是经，信心清净，则生实相，当知是人成就第一稀有功德。世尊，是实相者，即是非相，是故如来说明实相。世尊，我今得闻如是经典，信解受持，不住为难。若当来世后500岁，其有众生得闻是经，信解受持，是人即为第一稀有，何以故？此人无我相，无人相，无众生相，无寿者相，所以者何？我相即是非相，人相、众生相、寿者相即是非相，何以故？以一切诸相，即名诸佛。佛告须菩提：如是如是。若复有人得闻是经，不惊不怖不畏，当知是人甚为稀有，何以故？须菩提，如来说第一波罗蜜，即非第一波罗蜜，是名第一波罗蜜。须菩提，忍辱波罗蜜，如来说非忍辱波罗蜜，是名忍辱波罗蜜。何以故？须菩提，如我昔为各地王，各结身体为儿时，无我相，无人相，无众生相，无寿者相。何以故？我欲往昔节节知解时，若有我相、人相、众生相、寿者相，因生嗔恨。须菩提，有念过去已500世，作忍辱仙人，以尔所示，无我相，无人相，无众生相，无寿者相。是故须菩提，菩萨应以一切相发阿耨多罗三藐三菩提心，不应诸色身心，不应诸声香味触法身心，不应生无所住心。若心有住，即为非住。是故佛说菩萨心，不应诸色布施。须菩提，菩萨为利益一切众生故。哇，你等啊！因如是布施，如来说一切诸相即非实相，又说一切众生即非众生。须菩提，如来说是真语者、实语者、如语者、不妄语者、不异语者。须菩提， 如来所得法，此法无实无虚，须菩提，若菩萨心住于法而行布施，如人如暗，则无所见；若菩萨心不住法而行布施，如人有目日观明照，见种种色。须菩提，当来之时，若有善男子、善女人，能以此经受持读诵，则为如来以佛智慧悉知世人，悉见世人，皆得成就无量无边功德。哇 ，at last. Okay, so this is 第14分。Okay, can you refer to the textbook, the English one? 哇 ，English one 我偷懒一点啊。I read the first one, the first paragraph first, page 221, chapter 14. But the force of this Dharma, the Venerable Subhuti was moved to tears. Wiping his eyes, he said to the Buddha, "How remarkable, Bhagavan! How most remarkable, Sugata! Is this Dharma teaching that the Bhagavan speak of the benefit of those beings who seek the foremost of path, for the benefit of those who seek the best of path, and from which my own awareness at born? Bhagavan, I have never heard such a teaching as SUTRA. Bhagavan, who hear what is said in this sutra and give birth to a perception of its truth, and how so? Bhagavan, a perception of its truth is no perception for its truth. Does the Tathagata speak of the perception of its truth as a perception of its truth? Okay, can you turn to the next page? Page 223. The last one, the bottom, the last paragraph. Furthermore, page 223. Furthermore, Subhuti, if a normal son or daughter should grasp this Dharma teaching and memorize it, recite it, turn to the next one, page 224, master it and explain it in detail to others, the Tathagata will know them, Subhuti, by means of his Buddha knowledge, and the Tathagata will see him, Subhuti, by means of his Buddha vision. The Tathagata will be aware of them, Subhuti, for all such beings produce, obtain an immeasurable infinite body of merit. Oh, I tell you, this one has been, I think probably it'll take 2-3 lessons to finish it. Okay, probably very fast, actually they explain it. Okay, can you see the page 224, chapter 14? Okay, see the introduction first, here. Subhuti is overwhelmed by this teaching. At the beginning of this sutra, when he asked the Buddha how someone could travel the Buddha's Bodhisattva path, he was not prepared to have journeyed so far, so soon, and is overcome by emotion, which is itself revealing of the difference between Stravaka and Bodhisattva path. Especially it's come from the Arahant, who earlier described himself as a free from passion. That's why I told you before, just now, Arahant is different from Bodhisattva. Okay? Arahant is more on self-cultivation. And the highest stage they can gain the state, is to obtain Arahant. Right? That means the liberated one, free from suffering. But only, very much only for themselves. But unlike for Bodhisattva, due to the great compassion, okay? So besides benefiting themselves, they are also benefiting others. That means to all sentient beings. Right? Due to the great compassion. So that is the main difference between the two. Okay? But unfortunately, because Subhuti is Arahant, it's not Bodhisattva. That's why you can see, if you go and visit the Chinese temple in China, you can see those traditional temples, they do have 18 Arahant, 18 Lohan. Even some temple can be more than that. Okay? And you can see from the statue, you can see those Arahant, the appearance look very funny one. It's just a 济公活佛, funny kind of gesture, the kind of appearance. Unlike the Bodhisattva, it look very normal, but not for Tibetan Buddhism. Right? If you see the Tibetan Buddhism, Zhanchuan, the appearance, the statue of the Guan Yin Pusa, Bodhisattva, is different from Mahayana one, Chinese Mahayana. Even Manjusri Bodhisattva, Wunsu Sri Pusa, looks different also, because it's different tradition. I mean, Tibetan Buddhism. And not only Tibetan Buddhism, a lot of youngsters, they believe that, because especially for youngsters, those even highly educated and English educated one, because Lama only can speak English. It's very amazing, So you see, especially you go to Geylang, a lot of Lama, I tell you nowadays, not only in Singapore, even everywhere, in Taiwan also. Okay? But of course, if you want to know the history, then you can refer to the history in Tibetan Buddhism, how they develop, history in Chinese Buddhism. And that one is talking about history. Okay. So, Arhat is free from passion, and this is an example of what later became, known as a sudden enlightenment. 我们叫顿悟 sudden enlightenment. In Buddhism, there's two types of enlightenment. One is called gradual enlightenment. One is called sudden, like this type of sudden enlightenment. This refers to Chinese to 顿悟. The other one is called gradual. Gradual enlightenment. 渐悟. Chinese. People like you and me are considered as gradual enlightenment because we take step by step. Gradually. 一步一步, step by step. Sudden is all sudden. Just like Hui Nen, 6-pack trip. Drop the glass and so that is called sudden enlightenment. Okay? And this also depends on your kind of wisdom and the past karma, how much how much you practice the Dharma and so on and so forth. Some people are sudden for short capacity. People like you and me, gradual enlightenment are dull capacity, 比较钝根. Just like if you use another word, stupid one, people like you are not intelligent. So gong ma, from primary school, secondary school, then JC, then to university. If those people are very talented one, very smart one, they bypass, straight away go to university, But this is very rare. We talk about in general. Now, okay, back to here. So this is called Southern Enlightenment School of Buddhism, in which the emotional impact of a teaching thus the mediation and reflection are unable to do. So, in the space of what amounts to few minutes, Subhuti has gone from Arahant to Bodhisattva. And to demonstrate his newfound understanding, he summarizes what he considers this sutra's principal teaching thus far. Okay? Freedom from perception. There are no perception. So, in other words, this Subhuti from Arhat so to Bodhisattva already, because in other words, from his realized emptiness to emptiness of emptiness, wow, even more higher stage. Why not? So, although the Buddha approves, he urges Subhuti to look beyond no perception. Look beyond. Lest no perception become a substitute for his earlier attachment to emptiness. This is actually for those Sravaka, for Theravada Buddhism, because of course their main focus on emptiness. Although they main focus on emptiness, but still from our perspective, they still attached to emptiness. But in Mahayana Buddhism, we talk about emptiness or emptiness, kong kong. I told you before, right? The first word, Chinese kong, is a verb. The second word of kong is a noun, is a kind of notion or concept. So you have to detach, don't attach to the notion or concept of emptiness. But to them, they still attach to the notion of emptiness, for Arhat. So this is the main difference. Clear? If you don't study Dhammakas, it probably look very blurred. Now, he tells Subhuti to practice the perfection of wisdom, to practice the perfection of benevolence. And these are the 6 parameters, 6 度. If you study the Dhammakas, you will know. 6 parameters, 6 perfection, 6 度. To practice the perfection of charity. For only in the course of practice do no perception become the means by which Bodhisattva realize enlightenment and the means by which they teach other beings. Okay? So once again, the Buddha reminds Subhuti that freedom from perception of itself, liberate knows no one. Okay? Whereas those who uphold this teaching join the lineage of teachers of humans and gods that extend throughout the 10 directions and the 3 period of time. Of course, this 3 period of time talking in terms of past, present, future. 过去, 现在, 未来. Okay? So this is from the Buddhist perspective, talking about past, present, future. But at the end of the day, we should go beyond these three periods. Okay, you have to go beyond that. But this past, present, future, we are talking in terms of time. When we talk about 10 directions, 十方, 10 directions of all the Buddha, this is talking in terms of space. 10 directions talking in terms of space. Past, present, future talking in terms of time. So time and space by Buddhism. Clear? So like this 10 directions, something like, cannot be erased, sister. Probably had to later on after the class or next time. Okay, you see like this one. North, south, east, west. This one north, east, north, south. Add in, they become 8, right? Then upward, downward. 8 plus 2, 10. So in Buddhism, always talk about 10 direction in terms of space. That means all rounded. Okay, this is how Buddhism describe, explain the space and the time. 3 period of time. Okay, so the scholar Zhao Ming, page 441. You can just indicate it, page 441. Hui Nen, same like just now, page 449. Okay, we look at the first verse, chapter 14. By the force of this Dharma. Do I tell you the gist or the objective for this chapter? Haven't, huh? Oh, I've forgotten. Okay, so the objective for this chapter 14, very important, although throughout the long, lengthy verses, is talking about we have to don't attach to the form, things in the phenomena, 理想, don't attach, and we will come to the obtain stillness, that means obtain nirvana, liberation. In other words, we don't easily try not to attach to the external object in order to obtain liberation. Can be all kinds of objects, according to here. Even talk about 6 parameters, 6 perfection, right? For balance, giving, and so on and so forth. Clear? So this is the objective for this chapter. That's why you must know the objective first. Then before you go to the detail. You cannot say, do you know what is this chapter talking about? From the beginning until ending. They are boku. Catch no ball, jialat. Okay? Now, so look at the first verse for this chapter. So, by the force of this Dharma, the Venerable Subhuti was moved to tell the cool. Wiping his eyes, he said to the Buddha, how remarkable, Bhagavan, how most remarkable, Sugata, but I look at you, you didn't cry. Because you know what is going on. 跟我没事干啊，对不对? For him, you feel the touch. Wow, I never heard before in my past life. 从来没听过的. So, 感动, the emotion of this Subhuti. To you, like we say, 八风吹不动, motionless. No feeling. 没有感觉. So how remarkable Bhagavan, how most remarkable Sugata, is the Dharma teaching that the Bhagavan speak of the benefit of those beings who seek the foremost of path, for the benefit of those who seek the best of path, and from which my own awareness is born. So Bhagavan, I have never heard such a teaching as this. That's why 他不是哭吗 tears 吗 I never heard before. 哇，很感动 So he has this kind of emotion. Where 你听的没什么，又不是中马票，又不是唔三唔四 4D. To me, nothing to do with me, right? That's why that's a lot different. Okay, we still got 5 minutes. I try to finish it. Subhuti, reaction provides an example of the power of this sutra to change the life of someone whose karma has nearly run its course. Of course, in Buddhism, talking about karma, not created by God, is our individual karma. You cannot blame the God, you cannot blame the Buddha, we have to blame ourselves, right? So, to change the life of someone whose karma has already run its course, although Subhuti is an arahant and living his last life, he now realizes that there's a more to the Buddha's teaching than the doctrine of emptiness, and that is the cultivation of selflessness, has been ironically selfish. Then he realizes, 不能比啊 Bodhisattva even more superior, 比我更厉害, right? So he realizes that true selflessness right, is practiced by those who help others, as I say, benefit sentient being. Put an end to suffering, as the Buddha does through this teaching. So how could Subhuti not be moved upon hearing such a teaching while he still has the opportunity to put it into practice? You really say, 我只是读小学的, still got 中学, secondary school, still got JC, still got the university. Talking about university, do you know recently the newspaper came out? No time. You know, it happened to NUS or NTU? Do you read the newspaper? What about what? Only news from university, and then about what? About the traveler, tourists, go and disturb them studying. They go and visit the campus. How can this one consider one of the tourist place, man? Who go and visit university? You go for tour, you guys relax, leisure tour, must go to Hoppa Villa or Marina Bay Sands, then go to university for what? You read the newspaper? Then they complain, students complain. We're supposed to have a quiet environment to study. Then because of you come here, 打卡, kick off. Then even worse still, they eat at the canteen, you know. Cheap food. So they share with the student, and student will tahan liao. You know? Go. Don't waste my time. Okay, you go and read newspaper by yourself. So now you know what? University want the travel agent to pay money. You know, you pay money first and register. Then we allow you to come. Then you come. You cannot one day come so many groups. Then people study in the theater. Professor having the lecture. Then all of a sudden one tourist just open the door. The student look at it. Wow. Then you disturb people how to study. Cannot focus already. So they complain. Then they eat at a canteen. Wow. Very crowded, you know. Supposed to cater for student canteen cheaper So now you tourists 谈价 cheap food cheap and good then go there and eat I think probably it's a student traveler. Who traveler want to visit university? It must be crazy. Let's say you just imagine you go to America, you want to visit Harvard University? Yes. Why you like that? Why? 你为什么跟我唱反调？你们喜欢 abnormal 嘛？ No, you're abnormal. Normal people won't go to Harvard. Who want to go to Harvard? Japan, you must go to America. Why? Ready? That's why I said two of you are abnormal. Okay, back to here. Now, so it says Subhuti also say that, next paragraph, has never before heard such a teaching. But if this is true, then the placement of this sutra after those in which Subhuti demonstrate complete knowledge of this teaching must be judged and arbitrary and mistaken. So in view of Subhuti tales, I would suggest that the Dharma Sutra is closer to being, next page, the ancestor rather than a later descendant, right, of the other scriptures of the Buddha Prajna period. But then, how relevant is time to such a teaching? There's a question here. Okay, quickly tell the scholar the page number. Time's up already. Okay, Asanga, page 438. Han Jing Jing. This one, page 447. Shen Zhao, page 460. Dao Yuan, page 464. Hui Nen, page 449. Next one, Shen Yi, page 461. Next. Dao Chuan, page 464. Okay, 11:30. 准不增不减 Okay, anything want to ask me? I'm sorry for that. For my late come to the classroom and we extend 15 minutes more. OT for 15 minutes. Anything want to ask before we go for Chinese New Year? Not now, next week. Okay. If everything feedback, let me know. If you really cannot understand or my way of teaching, you feel like it's not happy, please tell me. Okay, if not, please hold the palm. Shall we do the dedication? May all the merits thus accumulated be dedicated to all sentient beings. May all sentient beings and I together attain Buddhahood. Okay, please stand up. Okay, please hold the palm. One bow to the Buddha. Okay, Happy New Year to everybody. See you. Okay, see you. Enjoy your lunch. 新年快乐啊！